Good morning, everyone. Hope you all are doing well whenever you watch this episode. Um, I guess you will be watching it in the morning because it'll release Monday morning. Um I'm just having my coffee, morning coffee. It's a Sunday morning, and there was some news that came out on LinkedIn just over a week ago. Basically, now you're able to report any sort of AI slop. There's a feature on LinkedIn where you can report a specific post saying that, okay, this is AI slop, if it is, right? And I find this super interesting. And there's a couple of implications. All these years, right? Whether it's LinkedIn or whether it's any sort of platform, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., whenever anyone thought about creating content, they always thought about it as something that needs to be polished, something that needs to be very well written or well put together, even if it's like an Instagram post, whatever it is, right? People try to make sure the captions are great, and if you're writing a tweet, it's so thoughtful, and the punctuation, grammar, like on LinkedIn, etc. Every line is separate, all that kind of stuff, right? And now it's so funny that people are going towards sort of the opposite. So we're now in a situation where whenever you go on LinkedIn or any sort of platform, all the posts just look so perfect, right? The punctuation, the grammar, the sentence structure and syntax, everything is just so perfect. Or if you go on YouTube, everybody is putting the same type of videos with, similar looking thumbnails, and um, all the editing looks similar, you know, and obviously we know why this is the case because everybody's using AI, right? I think there was a stat that says something like 40% of LinkedIn's long form posts are all written by AI, like completely 100% written by AI. And I mean, we all use AI. I use AI in my writing as well. But obviously, there are some posts that are just such, you can tell they're so clearly written by AI, and nobody's really put any thought into what they're writing. And they just basically told, hey ChatGPT or hey Claude, please go and write this post about blah blah blah, and then that's it. That's what majority of the posts are. So now we're in a position where if your post, is not perfect, or it doesn't have, the right grammar, or whatever it is, it's actually getting more engagement. Like, this is actually what's happening. And it's so interesting because people were always scared, to go and put out content, these last few years. I remember, like, on LinkedIn, people would be so conscious, and now the posts that are actually getting the most engagement are the most unpolished ones, because that shows real authenticity. It shows that, okay, this is actually a real person, you know. And it's so funny, like everybody thought that, okay, with having AI, you're going to be able to write better posts, and everybody's going to have such great quality. But it sort of turned into the opposite, where you have a sea of sameness, and everybody's like quality of content has just degraded and become the same. So now the people that are actually standing out are the ones who are not even bothering to do any editing or making their posts like so super well written. It's just so unpolished. It's just so authentic and real. And I think this is actually great because now we are in a unique position where this sort of like uh, opportunity to be real and authentic is being rewarded. Right now, you don't have to be concerned about whether your post or your or even your emails sound perfect or they sound right, or like if there's a typo, because people would be worried about this the whole time, like, oh, I don't want to look unprofessional. Now now it's the opposite. Now if your post is perfect or if your email is perfect, now it looks unprofessional because people can tell, oh, you've used AI. Now, if you write something that doesn't look like a text, people are like, like just concerned whether this is like AI. So I've seen it myself now. Now, whenever I, like, in my sales role, whenever I send out emails, whenever I write emails that look like a text message that I'm sending, not too much attention given towards the punctuation or capital letters, etc., etc., those emails get the most responses over anything else, right? And it's the same with like LinkedIn posts. Everything I've been seeing, on LinkedIn, the posts that have the least amount of attention given to how polished it looks seem to get the most engagement and responses. So I feel like this is actually amazing. This is such a great opportunity for people now to just go and be themselves. And it's actually a situation now where you have the permission. People, you know, would think so much. Now you don't even have to worry. You're gonna stand out. If you just go and say your thoughts as they are, that'll actually stand out. It's so amazing. So I feel like AI really has benefited us for the good, because you can just be yourself. Even now, whenever I'm making these podcast episodes, I'm not giving too much attention to the editing or whatever. It's just off the cuff, and uh, I speak to people and they tell me that they really like it. Like, they like the authentic, real, raw. I mean, I could put more effort into the audio quality and stuff, and I will probably get a mic. But I myself love this sort of format. I like, even when I watch videos on YouTube or whatever, like Alex Hormozy is someone I really follow and really respect and admire. A lot of his early videos didn't have any crazy editing. They were just him and a camera and him just talking. That's it. And this is, I think, what is going to become so valuable. So the more we lean into this whole just being yourself, I think that's what's going to pay the most dividends in every way. Whether you are in a sales role, reaching out to prospects, whether you are a content creator, whatever it is that you do, if you just allow yourself to just be and not worry about what people think, now more than ever, that sort of mentality and attitude is going to be rewarded, because that is literally what's setting you apart from all the other, AI slop that's out there. You don't need to be perfect. That's I think the biggest lesson I've learned from this whole AI boom, and with everything that's been going on, with all these different LLMs coming out and newer models. But the interesting thing is the quality of these posts doesn't seem to necessarily get better because everybody's just doing the same thing, right? So it's just more proof as to why you shouldn't do the same thing, even if that thing is the most popular thing, you know so yeah, I'm going to keep making these episodes and writing more posts. And I'm not going to lie, I use AI a lot, but it's more so just to help me structure what I'm going to say or what I'm going to write, and then I'll take that as a first draft and then just edit that and write that in my own words, right? And think about how I can say it better, etc. So, for example, when I'm doing my written posts, the way I'll do it is I'll just go to my dedicated chat in Claude for writing uh, Substack posts, and I'll be like, hey, okay, so today I want to talk about X, Y, Z, and basically this is what I think about this topic. These are my thoughts. This is how I came across this topic. What do you think about it? Uh, what do you think is my main point from everything I'm telling you? Can we have a bit of a discussion about this? Ask me questions, and then by the end of our discussion, I'd like to have like an outline as to how I should structure this post, and maybe if you can write a first draft, that'd be great. Something like that, and then I will use that and make it better and better, and then post that. So, I think that's a better way to use AI than just asking it to write everything for you and just posting that. But yeah, that's sort of my experience. Keep being you, just go out there and be yourself. Now we have all the permission in the world. There's nothing stopping you, right? So anyway, I'm going to drink this coffee and go about the rest of my day, and see you all soon. Take care.